What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hero Club podcast. We're excited to have you back here for the second episode of season two. We're going to go through and just kind of break down some of the different deals that have been happening throughout in the NCAA and throughout college sports over the past couple of weeks, coming into college football season starting tonight, kicking off with UNC. No, with who was the kickoff tonight?
Utah, Florida.
Utah, Florida. That's right.
Right.
Kicking off with Utah, Florida, going through some of the quarterback questions, picking Brett and I's games of the week, and then just going through a couple other things NIL related. We're excited to be here. Brett, if you want to kick us off and just kind of give us an update on some of the deals that have been happening across college sports.
Yes, sir. So we'll talk about three different ones. Big one that we'll talk about and unpack a lot is with Beats. They're doing, you know a lot more about that than I do, but they're doing some different stuff with different teams and quarterbacks, getting their guys hooked up with some custom beats. Then Zips Car Wash, conversations with athletes in the car and their car wash. We had 14 different schools and 22 different athletes. So that'll be fun. And then Brew McCoy from Tennessee, talk about him donating AEDs after every touchdown, which is pretty sick.
Yeah.
So tell us about Beats. What does that look like with
Yeah. So Beats kind
quarterback?
of tested this last year, I think, with a couple different quarterbacks. I know they did it with Bryce Young and I think a couple others. But this year they're launching their first inaugural class. They're calling it the Beats Elite class. And they chose, I believe it was 15 different players from pretty high profile players across pretty high profile teams. I know one of them was Jaden Daniels at LSU. I know they chose Jalen Milroe and Kool-Aid McKinstry at Alabama.
Okay,
Um,
so not all quarterbacks.
no, not all quarterbacks. I think it's mostly quarterbacks,
Gotcha.
but not all quarterbacks necessarily.
Cool.
Um, they really just kind of just want to like the top guys profile wise on each team.
Right.
So I think they also kind of wanted to hedge their bet with Jalen Milroe in case he didn't get the starting job. And that's why they went with Kool-Aid because you wanted Alabama, but you wanted to make sure you had the starter at Alabama.
That's fair.
So I don't know how many of them aren't quarterback, but at Alabama, it's at least one not quarterback.
That's fair. I respect that though.
So, but I mean, kind of the point of view with the quarterback too is everybody always gives the example of the quarterbacks are making all this money, is there not any kind of like locker room tension? And that's what they're
Right.
really trying to target here, and they want to make sure that part of that is these quarterbacks have the opportunity to give back to their team. And so part of this deal is I'm sure the quarterbacks are making some money, but Beats is donating a pair of custom beads for whatever that team is. So custom Alabama beads, custom LSU beads, whatever it is. And they're giving to those quarterbacks to then gift to all of their teammates. So if you are a scholarship guy, a walk-on guy, whoever on the Alabama football team, you got a pair of custom beads gifted to you from Jalen Milroe or Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Right.
So
That's sick.
so Beats is doing that. It's been super cool to see. I know they tried it last year. I've personally seen some of the beats around Alabama's campus, so that's been really cool to see. They look awesome. I would love to buy a pair. I don't know if that's an option, but yeah, so they've been doing that.
I bet they'll drop something like that after the season's done or like
Probably,
mid-season. Because right
yeah,
now they probably want to keep them like exclusive to the athletes or something.
yeah. I wonder if I can like find an athlete who's selling some. That's what I need to figure out actually. Reach out to some of my friends on the team.
There you go. That's perfect. That's awesome.
But yeah, so that's going on.
I would love to do a deal with Beats if I was a big athlete like that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Iconic brand,
iconic brand. Beats is actually under Apple, so really you're doing a deal with Apple.
right? I forgot about that actually.
Yeah, they bought them a while ago. So,
That's
but
cool.
so yeah, that's one of the cool deals going on. You also have the Zips car wash. So
Okay.
this is actually the second campaign that they've done. But Zips car wash is, I'm pretty sure a car wash up north. But what they do is they take athletes, they bring athletes into their car wash. So maybe I'm pretty sure last year they did Spencer Rattler at one point. They bring in these these athletes, and then they ride through the car wash with them. They have one of those little mini mics, and they interview the athlete for however long the car wash lasts. So,
Incredible.
and like sometimes it's about sports, sometimes it's about just like random what's their favorite food, funny experience, things like that. So that's a great content, and that's what they're really trying to do is just kind of build awareness and build a brand around their car wash. So
That's fantastic. I
yeah,
love that. Reminds me of the what's a Barstool podcast where those two guys are in like a trailer and they bring in athletes and just interview them. You know what I'm talking about?
I want to say part of my take, but I know that's not right.
That is not correct.
I know
Oh,
that.
dude. What's it called? I don't know, but it reminds me of that, and I love it. But
Yeah.
it's genius for a car wash because you don't see like, I mean, I feel like car washes are just everywhere,
Yeah.
and there's so many different kinds. Like, I don't know if I'm loyal to one kind of car wash. I
Yeah.
also believe in washing your car on your own, but for a car wash to do that, I love it.
Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, if I lived near a Zips car wash, I would go through the car wash partially because I'd be wondering like, what are the odds there's a quarterback here or like
For
some
sure.
here.
Absolutely. No,
So
they would definitely get my vote. That's for
yeah,
sure. That's awesome.
yeah. So big fan of what they're doing there. And then the last kind of cool deal that has happened recently, not the last one we're going to talk about is Brew McCoy, Tennessee wide receiver. He signed the deal with the Peyton Walker Foundation to raise awareness for sudden cardiac arrest. And he's doing that by part of his compensation is he is donating AEDs to people in need after every time he scores a touchdown. So if he scores 50 touchdowns this season, he'll donate 50 AEDs to just kind of different people in need across the Peyton Walker Foundation.
Yeah,
So
love it.
yeah, lots of things happening right now with kind of athletes giving back. So
Yeah,
I think that's a really cool thing to see here, especially leading up a lot of these young football athletes leading up to the season.
for
So
sure.
when their value's
Yeah.
the highest.
And I love it because, we talk all the time about the stigmas on NIL and a lot of people just always thinking, hopefully not the case anymore, but always thinking that NIL is just boosters writing a check. And, but there's a lot of good that comes out of NIL. And this is a perfect example of that. So I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Props to Mr. Brew.
Yes.
Cool name too. Brew.
That's a good name. I'd
Yeah.
never heard of him. I guess last year he was behind
Brew.
Hyatt and Tillman, but we'll see.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Brew's like a big guy, like Brew.
I
You
can
know what
see.
I mean? Brew.
He's gonna retire from football, go open up a brewery, and I'll go. It'll be great.
Dude, he's got a so it's spelled BRU, but I would be so cool if he did that and then he changed his name, or if it's just Brew Brewery, or you change your name to like Brew, like BREW.
What if
Cool.
legal documents? Your name is Brew BREW.
Yeah. We should bring it up to him. Maybe we'll get something.
You make that happen. I'll find somebody on the team. Get in contact.
Heck yeah.
So real cool.
I think that's all we got for NIL deals. Fun little topic there, a little update. Um, Before we get too deep into football, I would love to talk about some history that was made last night in the volleyball world. Nebraska volleyball playing in the football stadium, which this has been talked about all week in a bunch of my classes. But it's cool because Nebraska is a state that is volleyball is probably their biggest sport.
Yeah.
Um, they're filthy. They've won a lot of national championships, and I mean, people are huge volleyball fans in Nebraska. But for those of you that don't know, they played in Nebraska's football stadium last night and sold out the entire stadium. I think I heard a number that they sold, I think it was like just over 80,000 tickets in the first like couple days that they were available. But it's awesome too because they wanted to make sure they sold out. So I think like the ticket prices. It was like $25 for adults and like $5 for children or something. So super easy to go to, really, really cheap tickets. I saw they also had I think it was Scotty McCurry there. He performed, made it like a whole huge event.
Yeah.
Nebraska obviously played, and then after they also had like a D2 match of two. I think Nebraska played Omaha, University of Omaha, and then there was a D2 match after that were also two teams in Nebraska.
Yeah.
So big event, over 90,000 people there, which is sick. I think it like quadrupled the um, record attendance for a volleyball game, which was previously held by Nebraska. And I
Yeah.
saw the coach, he was like, we want to make sure that no one would even dare to like challenge our record of attendance or something. I was like, that's dope.
Yeah.
So pretty cool there. Big for volleyball, Nebraska, women's sports, all that. So
Yeah. No, super cool. I think the number was like just over 92,000. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it was 93,000.
it was 92,003.
Yeah, that's crazy. But then, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it like it wasn't just like record setting for volleyball? It was record setting for women's sports. Like, wasn't that the biggest attendance ever at a women's sporting event?
That could be true. I am not 100% sure about that, but I would believe it
It
because
might
I
be college
don't know.
women's sports, but I'm pretty sure it was just women's sports.
That's sick. I was about to say, because I don't know. The only thing that would compete would be like a women's basketball in college, at least women's basketball, like national championship or
Yeah,
Madison or something. But I don't even know how big. They're not playing in any stadiums that are holding 90 plus thousand people.
I mean they're all playing in like because most in NBA stadiums that even they would play in, they hold like 60.
Yeah.
So I
Which
mean,
I know like men's March Madness is in football stadiums, but I don't know where women's are usually. Where was it this past year?
women's
Yeah.
women's played for most of the tournament up until maybe like the final four, with a couple exceptions. Maybe I think they played like in home stadiums. So, like the home team was at actually at home.
Got-
No, they went to. So this is actually how they did. I remember this now. They did divisions, and so like you know how March Madness kind of has the four different divisions.
Right.
They would split up those divisions, and like the top seeds in each division would host the games.
Gotcha. So I know
So
they do that with men's too, but they usually go
yeah,
elsewhere.
yeah, because yeah, I mean it was the exact same way. Once you got to like the final four, elite eight, you'd go to like bigger stadiums that weren't just at your college. But
Right. Sick though.
yeah, so but yeah, no, that was record setting, super cool to see. I remember I came across it. I didn't know that was happening up until after it happened.
Yeah.
Wow, like that's awesome.
Yeah, no, the only reason I knew is because we had been talking about it this week in class, but it's pretty sick.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, before we dive into football, you got a question for us for our fun segment, our question of the week segment?
Ooh. All right, I'll bring up this. This is always my favorite kind of it's like icebreaker question. If you ever sit in like a group of people or in a class and you just need an icebreaker question, it
Yeah.
takes doesn't take super long. If you could have
Oh boy. Here we go.
one person, if you could shrink down one person and always have them in your front pocket,
What?
who would it be? It can be for wisdom, it can be for comedic relief, it can be to like have a little helping hand.
Do they always stay small?
They always stay small and they're always in your front pocket.
Okay. So I
So like,
couldn't just like
that's the
pull them
first thing.
like bam and like Shaq is there.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
always small. Now Shaq's probably still going to be bigger than the other small people.
This is correct. I'm just thinking like if I'm ever in like a little tiffle, I don't know if that's the right word. I just threw that.
You getting tickles a lot?
No, but I'm just thinking like if I
Common
ever
therapy.
or I can't reach something, then I'm like, yo, Shaq. And then he's just like, woo.
Yeah, that's
I also
fair.
just love
Yeah,
Shaq.
I do.
Oh,
Look,
that's
Shaq is
not
a
my
good choice. So like that's your choice. Go for it.
No, that's not my answer.
Okay.
I just needed clarification.
All right.
Why don't you
Okay.
give us yours since it sounds like you've done this before?
So I've heard a lot of answers to this question. I've definitely done it before. I change my answer up every now and then because like there's lots of different avenues you can take. Like as a student, it would be great to have somebody who is way smarter than me, just like Albert Einstein, just like sitting in my pocket. Need help on a test? Bring Albert
Wait,
Einstein.
is this dead or alive?
Yeah. Anybody.
Oh, that changes everything.
Yeah. 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 So bring on Albert Einstein. But do you want somebody funny? I hear Kevin Hart a lot. That's usually one of my answers that I go with. I'm gonna mix it up today. You just want some comedic relief, bring out Kevin Hart. Want somebody I've heard somebody one time told me David Goggins, just like always motivated. Just like you ever need that like one more rep and you got David Goggins in your front pocket, you know you're getting
That's sick.
like,
That's awesome.
so but also like he's gonna wake you up at like 4 a.m. every morning. So do with that what you will.
Yeah, you're gonna be in a world of pain, but
So, but anyways, for today, I think I'm gonna kind of take the best of both worlds. And I'm gonna go with The Rock. So, because you have the comedic relief, you also kind of have that like motivation factor with it. I feel like he's a pretty wise dude. He's got some wisdom that he can impart on me.
I like that.
So I'm gonna try to hit the middle of a couple avenues here. Say The Rock.
That's a great answer. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a I'd love that answer, but there's I am thinking of like what how much like I can benefit from this situation. And for some reason, my first thought, I just had to share this because it's been in the front of my brain. My first thought is I'm gonna pick somebody that can sing, and then I act like I'm singing, but I'm just lip singing, and then they're singing for me, and then I have like this awesome career.
You know, that's valid. Here's my question. Are you just gonna have like a tiny mic in your
I haven't
pocket?
worked out the details. I just it was just a cool thought that I was thinking outside the box for.
I like it. So who's the singer? Who are you gonna sound like?
Well, my first one was going to be Michael Jackson, um, just because he has a very unique voice. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. Love his music. Now there are some questions of his, his character and some actions that he has done in the past. So maybe not a great influence, but maybe I could kind of,
Make sure you always have your eyes on him. Let him out of
well,
the
he can
pocket.
fit in my pocket. He ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I could kind of be like, "Hey, buddy, let's keep this to strictly professional." um,
You're gonna get our podcast canceled.
no, no, no. I hope not. No, yeah. So that would be dope, but I'm not going to pick Michael Jackson. the The downside is way lower than the upside, I think. Like he's not seen greatly in the community, I think.
That's a valid concern.
Um, yeah,
You gotta choose somebody whose ceiling is higher than their floor.
for sure. Oh man, this is really tough.
Another good option is if you could choose like a chef, you could always have like a Dave Ramsey in your pocket. I know you're a big foodie, so
Gordon Ramsay?
yeah, that one.
Yeah, he's also not the nicest person, I think. So
He's
like,
not.
I feel like he would just yell at me.
He probably would. To,
I'll tell you, my first thought when this whole thing came to mind was Jesus, because that would be dope.
yeah.
I think Jesus would be a funny person too. But I'm really trying to
Always
think
turn
of
your
how
water into wine.
I hate wine. So
Unfortunately, you just do it as a prank then. You're just like
cool party trick though. Uh Not that I would have Jesus in my pocket just for party tricks, but it's more for the wisdom side of things, you know.
Yeah.
Dude, this is so hard.
There's lots of avenues to take with it.
I gotta just pick one though.
There's not a wrong answer.
It's always the wrong answer.
There's better answers, but there's not a wrong answer.
Um,
Let's go. Count of five.
all right, I got one.
Right.
This is random, but it's somebody that I think I think it's a middle of the road. It's very successful.
Okay.
He is super fit, so I think could be a great influence on like fitness and health and all that kind of stuff. I
Okay.
think he's pretty funny, and I also think he would just be a nice friend and is one of my favorite actors. I'm gonna say Michael B. Jordan.
I like it. I like it. That's a good choice.
He's good in Creed, you know, he's getting into boxing, can
Yeah.
maybe teach me a few swings.
You gonna
But
get into boxing?
no, well, you know, I don't know.
Every time I watch Creed, I consider it.
Yeah, and
uh,
all that training stuff he did himself. So I respect it. I'm gonna go Michael B. Jordan.
I used to look up I
Okay.
used to do the workout that he used to do for when he was training for Killmonger in Black Panther. So that workout is nuts. It's just like you just pound chest after chest after chest, and then you just like
Yeah,
move the shoulders, which like is really halfway chest anyways.
bro. I think so. I actually did the same. I have all his workouts, but I did it for when he trained for Creed.
Yeah,
And every workout, he worked out like 5, 6 days a week. And every workout, no matter what it was, his warm up was like a mile run.
yeah.
And I was like, that's nothing crazy, but like if I'm about to hit legs, I'm gonna just go warm up and run a mile. That's kind of crazy. But everything he did was just like nuts. Like there was like it was so many reps, really heavy weight, a lot of
Yeah.
high stats, like 10 sets of 12. Like that's stupid, dude.
So it'd be like 10 to 12, but then it'd be like 80% of your max. And I was like, I can't do that. Like, that's just not how that works.
Like you got to train to do that training
Right.
for like years. All right, that's a good question. I like that.
Yeah.
So our final answers are The Rock and Michael B. Jordan. I almost went with Michael Jackson, but
We'll sweat that one under the rug, sweep it under the rug.
he did a lot of that, didn't he? Anyway, um, sorry.
Your reliability, Brett.
Um, woo, football, football. Um, week 0 was fun.
Week zero.
The,
Yeah. We can call it fun. There was some
it was
fun.
just because we started.
Notre Dame was, yeah, that's true. Notre Dame looked great.
Yeah, they did look pretty good.
It was
I think
named.
take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Um, I think we see that USC is very beatable.
So that's actually to the Notre Dame point. They play each other later in the season. So like one of them will figure something out.
Yeah.
But
I think USC is beatable, man. That defense, I mean, personally, I think all Pac-12 defenses are kind of terrible, but like obviously Caleb Williams looked great. He's going to do great and probably win the Heisman again. But USC as a team, I think they're very beatable.
let me watch Washington against Boise State this week. But I
Yeah.
think that Washington might be my pick to win the Pac-12.
Not a bad pick. Washington's pretty good.
They're great. You got Michael Penix Jr. You also have Oregon. Oregon's a dark horse out there. So you can not like
Not
it.
getting into Bo Nix.
But at the very least, you can't tell me Bo Nix is not a great college quarterback. You just can't. Like that's that.
Here's this is the last thing I will say about Bo Nix. You can't tell me that it's not a coincidence that he sucks at Auburn for 3 years, playing real defenses,
Okay, I
and
get
then
the
he goes to the Pac-12 and
I,
he's good.
I
I'm not
get it.
saying he's like terrible, but like I think when he plays halfway decent defenses, he's bad. He
Look,
scrambles too much. He just throws it up.
I'm gonna put part of this.
Georgia first game of the year last year, he had like 4 picks.
I'm gonna put
I
this
think
under
he's
a couple different things. Number one, Georgia's defense last year was nuts. So just throw that point out of there. That was
so was
everybody,
in the NFL.
almost everybody threw 4 picks against Georgia. It felt like so. Like that's a different conversation. One, we're talking about you right before we started this conversation. You said that the Pac-12 defenses weren't great, and we're talking about winning the Pac-12. I'm not out here saying we're going to win the playoff.
Well,
We're,
I'm just saying, going off of you saying that he's a great college quarterback.
all right, I still believe that. So, but then also like Bro was on pace to win the Heisman last year before he got hurt. So like he's putting up numbers, and at the end of the day, what really makes you a great college quarterback? Numbers. So
Yeah. I
that's
mean, I know I'm probably on the lower end of this argument because people are going to agree that he's putting up good numbers, which I can't ignore. If he was always at Oregon and always doing this, I'm fully there. But like he was trash at Auburn.
but here's the thing.
Maybe he just had a
Who isn't
revelation.
Jack at all?
That's fair. Maybe he had a revelation and he turned his life around and now he's this great
Actually, a
quarterback.
conversation I had with somebody the other day. Can you name an NFL player that went to Auburn? Like a current NFL player that went to Auburn?
I can name one.
Who?
That's literally just because he just came from Auburn and he just got drafted and he hasn't even played a real
Yeah. So
NFL game.
outside of Tank Bigsby,
Okay, that was my uh
Anthony Schwartz just got cut. Like Cam Newton's not in the NFL anymore. So I actually played.
oh,
So there was a guy I played with in high school, Cedric Jackson. He was Bo Jackson's nephew.
oh yeah, he went to Auburn, didn't he?
He did. Let me see if he actually made the final roster, the
I
53 man.
remember I remember that because he came in when my sister saw Auburn and it was a big deal that Bo Jackson's nephew was there and
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he made the 53 man roster. So he
where
was the Bengals.
did I didn't even remember him really playing at Auburn though.
He was always a starter at Auburn, but Auburn just I mean, he was there during the whole like Brian Harsin era and got there like whoever the coach was before Brian Harsin that was awful.
Dude, I also literally don't watch Auburn football unless they're playing Georgia and unless they're playing Alabama.
That's valid.
So I have no.
Yeah, I can't see if he made it or not, but I'm pretty sure he made the 53 roster. So I guess there's two. There's two guys.
All right. But other than that, no, I got nothing.
Yeah. So
Um, but anyway, recap for week 0. Our picks, you and I tied at 5 points. Across the board, we all, between you, me, and then our guest picker, Blake, we all picked New Mexico State to win. They dropped the ball. That one kind of hurt. I think they actually kind of got waxed, but
yeah, by UMass, which like nobody saw coming.
yeah.
So I mean, like they threw like at least one pick six, lots of turnovers. UMass like actually looked kind of good, which makes me really curious. They play Auburn this week on that note, actually, which makes me really curious on like, do they stand a chance?
There's just no way they come into Auburn on opening day. You got to understand, dude, that stadium is very hard to play in.
No, it is.
UMass
I've
beat.
been there a couple times, but like,
I'm not going to go that far. If it happens, great, but I'm not going to go that far.
yeah, as a Bama fan, hope
Yeah,
hope it happens.
that's fair. Um, but yeah, and then we had Blake took the cake last week. Out of 7 games, he had 6 correct. You and I both had 5. I had FAU went beating LA Tech. or Louisiana Tech. They FIU lost, and then you had UTEP losing or winning against Jacksonville State, and Jacksonville State won. So you and I both 5 points. The guest picks are up right now at 6, and then we got 8 for this week. So I know you don't talk about UTEP because they blew it, but
Dude, I mean, it was just like absolute coaching error. They were in the position to win.
it's
Couldn't do
bad.
it.
It's really bad.
So, I mean, I hate this. They were down 3 in field goal range, took a shot in the end zone,
Hmm.
then went for it on 4th and 1 and threw the ball again. Like, had time.
Interesting.
It was,
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely should have won that game, but
I mean, at the very least, it should have gone to overtime. Like,
I guess they were trying to make a statement.
they were, and they made one. Not even
Not the one they wanted, but they did.
me personally can tell you they made one. Never pick them again.
Fair. I mean, I argued that in the first place, and you had every chance to prove me wrong, but
Yeah, they had every chance to prove you wrong. But
exactly. Exactly. Well, before we get into our week 1 picks for this week, 8 different ones. We got a few starting quarterbacks that have been named. Obviously, Carson Beck named starting quarterback for Georgia. I think that was last week.
yeah,
Kyle McCord, starting quarterback for Ohio State. Bama? Question mark.
them actually said that they're not even going to choose one by week 1. Like, we will play multiple quarterbacks in week 1, and then we'll choose one for week 2.
Cool.
So, but I mean, like, you got to think about it this way too. Week 1 is Tennessee, is Middle Tennessee. Nobody's too worried about that.
Oh, I mean, you could go play quarterback for that's a lie. Anybody on that team could play quarterback and win
Yeah,
against Middle Tennessee because they'll be fine. But it is interesting. I mean, that it's your starting quarterback. That's a big question. I mean,
yeah.
you need
Well, because
a guy
here's the thing.
so
It's also like a strategy thing of if you're Alabama, you have Texas coming to play in Bryant Denny week 2. And the flip side is like you're not preparing for 2 quarterbacks who are like kind of similar. Like you got Jalen Milroe, who is like he's going to play quarterback like Lamar Jackson, or you have Ty Simpson, he's a pocket quarterback. Like he's going to sit back there and try to throw the ball on you.
yeah.
So
Now Texas has got to
how do
come in
you
and be
prepare for
prepared for
that?
either. Yeah. No, I respect it. Yeah, I saw some Saban was saying like, I don't want it to be seen as a competition for just the first week. Like this is a competition for the whole season and goes past that. So
Yeah,
I respect it.
yeah. So I
But
mean, if we had a bigger week 1 game, I'm sure we'd
right,
do something about it. We'd name one
yeah,
quarterback,
for
but
sure.
we'll see. I'm curious to see how week 1 plays
That
out.
first.
Who does it? But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Cool. Well, one last thing before pick. Sorry. We on our last podcast, we talked about something that has been kind of changed and flipped around and then changed again. We talked about Harbaugh getting suspended at Michigan, which
Yeah,
got taken away. And then Michigan themselves imposed a 3-game suspension on him internally, which I think was to save face. And those 3 teams are bad and they'll be fine without him. But I was just thinking about that because we mentioned it. I think it was like a 4-game from NCAA, and then
it was
it
3.
was taken away. Yeah, but either
Yeah,
way, he's gone for 3 games. He'll be back. They'll be fine
yeah. It's 3 pretty relatively easy games.
for sure.
Won't matter too much.
Now, all right, we got 8 games.
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah.
list them down, and then tell me what you think, and then we'll go off with our picks.
All right.
Number 1, the one I'm most excited for, LSU Florida State. Last year's game was wild. Number 2, UNC South Carolina. That one's gonna be good too. 3, Florida State Utah tonight. That one's fun. Coastal Carolina UCLA. TCU versus Colorado. Boise State versus Washington. Ohio State versus Indiana, and Clemson versus Duke. It's good games. Obviously, we have a lot of games going on, but picked 8 good ones, 8 bigger ones, and so we'll move from there. What do you got? LSU, Florida State.
Ooh, um, I'm taking Florida State in this game. I know that
Yeah.
LSU has a player out, a big player out. I can't remember his name. Um, for this game. So, and also I just love the Seminoles, love Jordan Travis, love what they have kind of brewing down there. Big on them. I think they win the ACC this year. I'm sticking with Florida State.
Thank you. I'm here for that. I have one question though.
Yeah,
Where is this football game located?
Orlando.
Okay. Go Knowles, baby.
Yeah,
I don't know what this sign would be. Yeah, tomahawk chop, baby. Dude, I am it is tough to pick Florida State because I think both these are really good teams. I'm high on Florida State all season. I get a little more scared picking them against a team that has a chance to win the SEC West. In the first game, you never know what teams are going to come out like for week 1, but like you said, I love Florida State. This game was wild last year.
yeah.
Field goal block to win. I'm pretty sure was the outcome.
It was a field goal. I can't remember if it was blocked or just missed, but I'm pretty sure it was blocked.
I'm 98% sure it's blocked. And
Yeah,
Florida State won that game, correct?
yeah.
I think they go, see, that makes it harder to pick Florida State.
I
LSU is coming back with a vengeance.
was thinking they do it 2 games in a row.
I'm sticking with the Knowles. I have Florida State in my playoff
Yeah,
Final Four, and so for them to do that and make a statement, they got to win this game.
I'll say this: John Emery is suspended for LSU. So
I don't know who that is. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Is that a
I'm
wide receiver?
sure, corner. I want to say defense tackle. No, what does he play?
I don't know. Corner and defensive tackle are very two different things.
I think he's a DB,
Okay,
but he's like arguably Jaden Daniels is their best player this year, but like he's up there in the conversation.
gotcha. Yeah, it'll be fun though to watch Jordan Travis and Jaden Daniels. I think that's gonna be a really good game. But
Yeah,
both going Knowles. I like it. All right, North Carolina, South Carolina.
I went back and forth in this game. I am still going back and forth in this game. For the sake of this podcast, I'm going to choose South Carolina. Um, they're at home. I think that place will just be absolutely rocking.
Yeah, man.
Great
Sandman.
quarterback matchup. Yeah, great quarterback matchup between Spencer Rattler and Drake May. I hesitate, and that Drake May is the only reason that I keep going back and forth. But
Yeah.
I mean, if Spencer Rattler can come out and play like he did last season at the end of last season, then I think they'll walk away with that win. Really, I'm just picking the home team. That game was in my mind going to the home team, no matter who it was. So
I think I'm taking South Carolina either way. I couldn't agree more. If South Carolina plays anything like they did the last half of last season,
yeah,
it's arguably that they steamroll UNC. Drake May is a fantastic quarterback. I don't know much about UNC and the weapons he has around him, but South Carolina has a chance to be a pretty decent team this year in the SEC. Um, like you said, at home, Spencer Rattler's a dog. I got the Gamecocks all the way.
yeah, yeah, love it.
Florida, Utah.
Utah, no question. I so low on Florida this year.
I agree, except if there was, I mean, Utah is without their quarterback this
Cam
game.
Rising's out, and I don't think it matters. Like I
Who's their backup?
don't know. Doesn't matter.
I know the problem is I just know Utah has a great defense.
Yeah,
I don't know who their backup is behind Cam Rising. And I know absolutely nothing about Florida other than the fact that they sucked last year and they're without the quarterback that is like, I guess, kind of good.
Yeah, like I love the SEC. I love the Utes. I can't.
I'm a huge Utes fan, dude. Like, if there's one team outside of Georgia that I will actually cheer for, I think it's Utah. I
Yeah,
just they're a fun team.
yeah,
Dang. All right. Well, we have the same first three picks: Florida State, South Carolina, Utah. This
right.
one's fun.
Yeah,
I, I bet we might go different ways on this one.
yeah,
UCLA, Coastal Carolina.
yeah. I if I chose a second team, if I was not an Alabama fan, I would be a UCLA fan. Love the brand, love the team. I think they're doing something great out there. I know that they lost Dorian Thompson Robinson, who is now balling out or balled out in the preseason. Pretty sure he actually did win the quarterback two job. He won the quarterback two job so convincingly that they trade the other guy. They traded the other
Yeah. No, gone.
guy.
It wasn't Josh Dobbs,
Yeah, Josh Dobbs, who is now a an Arizona Cardinal.
who will play, by the way.
Yeah, who will like probably be the starter, at least for the start of the season.
Yeah, without Kyler.
Yeah, without Kyler and I mean he's competing against Clayton Tune, but like
Who?
yeah, another rookie. Like
Cool.
so, but yeah, I'm a UCLA guy.
All right. Yeah. I got Coastal Carolina.
Yeah,
Whole way, baby. I'm a huge Grayson McCall fan. I think they got some dogs on that team. The past like 2 or 3 years, they've played great football and kind of put Coastal Carolina on the map for football. This game is at UCLA, unfortunately. So that does scare me, but I got Coastal Carolina.
yeah. I like it. I
Grayson McCall comes there and balls out.
yeah. Look, I love Grayson McCall. That's the only reason it's even a question in my mind is because of Grayson McCall. But
He's a dog.
yeah, I just got to get UCLA.
That's fair. You take out Grayson McCall and UCLA the whole way.
Yeah,
This is fun though. Colorado, Coach Prime versus TCU, who just got steamrolled the last time they played a football game by the University of Georgia Bulldogs. Sick 'em, hoo.
that's
In
also the national championship game. So like that's
that was my next. That
put
was my
that
next.
down.
That was my next part. I was going to say the national championship. They came off a fantastic season. I I was a TCU fan last year until we played them, obviously, but great season last year. Only problem, they ain't got a soul now. Quarterback gone, starting running back gone, wide receiver one gone,
Offense coordinator gone.
offensive coordinator gone. Who's there? I don't know.
I'll say
Let's
this, we brought in a lot of
Colorado.
transfers.
I think I think Coach Prime makes a statement in game one. I don't know how good they're going to be this year, but
You're going Colorado?
I'm going Colorado.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on Coach Prime so far? What are you thinking about this year with Colorado? Competing in the Pac-12, which like actually the Pac-12, I'll give them this, like they're basically non-existent after this year, but they're going out with a bang. Lots of great teams this year.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, you got USC, UCLA, uh,
Washington, Oregon.
yeah, Utah. A lot of good teams.
Yeah.
I agree. Here's my thing on Colorado. I I love Coach Prime. I'm a huge Deion Sanders fan in general. Braves, Falcons, ATL. Love Deion Sanders. I think this football team is very interesting though because I think they have like four guys. Might not be four, but they have a very small number of guys from last year's team, which I respect a little bit because they won one game last year. They clean house. they had like 56 transfers or something like that. Crazy numbers. On top of that, though, there's been a lot of in and outs. A lot of guys that transferred in, transferred out after the spring game. A lot of mix of what's going on. I don't know what's it, Shador? How do you say it? Shador Sanders?
Yeah. Um,
I am not super high on him. I love Travis Hunter though. Um, I don't know, man. I think they have a potential to be good. I think Coach Prime is a great coach. He brings a lot to the game. He's bringing a ton to Colorado. Awesome school. If anything, you got to at least admit that. I mean, he's flipped that program already because of
oh, absolutely.
all the people that are starting to support it now. I see Colorado stuff everywhere now. I don't know, but I just think I don't know about this season. I think it's going to take them a year or two to actually be good.
That's fair.
Uh, I think.
Let me ask you this: their over under on wins this year is 3.5. You had to pick the
Oh,
over.
yeah, 3.5.
They have a hard schedule. I'll give you that.
I was about to say that's fair, but like they can win 4 games
Okay. Yeah. If they win the TCU game, then like they should win 3.5.
for sure.
They should win four.
I just think since it's game one and it's like Colorado, new team, new coach, like I just feel like there's going to be a lot of people that have a chip on their shoulder coming in this game, and I think they're just going to come out fast and hit people hard, and I think they have a chance of winning that game.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna pick TCU.
Fair.
I used to live in Fort Worth, so I love the Horned Frogs. I actually considered going to TCU for a long time. Um, but I mean, I think it'll be. I know a lot of people who think that TCU is about to just come out here and just steamroll Colorado. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it'll be a close game. Um, but ultimately, I do think the Horned Frogs pull it out. I love what they have going on there. I love their head coach. I know that they lost a lot of their offensive weapons, but I also know that they had like the second most transfers into their school, or like the second best transfer class, or whatever that comes down to.
I
So
didn't know that. I'm not gonna lie.
they, so here's the thing: it's like, and I don't actually know if it was like the second best necessarily, but it was like one of
Yeah,
the best. I really don't know if it was the best or if it just was the most, but I know they brought in a lot of guys. They brought in really the reason I know this because they took a lot of Alabama guys. Um, because we have so many guys from Texas, and so after they were good, they were just like, "Oh, sick, we can go back home." So
yeah, that's
I
fair.
think I think they'll be good. It's really just a matter of like, can you take, and really it's a matter for both of these teams, can you take all of these transfers and have them ready under like one team to play for week one?
Absolutely.
So I think both these teams will be good middle end of the season,
Mhm.
beginning of the season with like essentially all new teams on both sides right here.
Yeah, is everything going to connect and be in
Right.
unison? I
Yeah.
agree. It'll be
So,
fun to watch though.
oh, absolutely.
My
So,
eyes will be on that TV.
but yeah, so I'm taking TCU.
I like it.
So,
Washington, Boise State.
give me Washington. Love Michael Penix.
Love
So the Washington is like probably if they can come out and play well this week, they're my pick to win the Pac-12. So love USC. Don't love USC's defense. I think Washington can expose that. I
Yeah,
think Oregon. Honestly, I think if Washington does it plays well this week, I think USC finishes third. This is a hot take. Finishes third in the Pac-12. So behind Washington and Oregon.
yeah, yeah. Oregon's interesting to me. Everybody's high on Oregon at the beginning of the season, and I don't care who it is, unless you're like Marcus Mariota's there. Everybody comes out hot on Oregon, and they always manage to lose like 3 or 4 games,
Yeah,
at least 2 or 3.
that's fair.
They could change my mind, but I think if it comes down to it, I do like Washington and USC at the top. But also like you get Cam Rising back at Utah, I think they can be in that mix too.
My only thing with Utah is I don't know anything about the rest of their team outside of Cam Rising.
Their defense is stout, bro.
Their
At
defense,
least it has been the last year or two.
yeah, their defense is great, and I really don't think that they lost that many people on defense. It's
No.
like I know that they lost multiple offensive weapons, and can you replace those? Because like Dalton Kincaid, like you're not getting a tight end that was better than Dalton Kincaid. Like that was
Right.
just like what are you gonna do with that?
That's also the thing. Like Utah has flipped their program in the last 3 years, and now they're a much higher recognizable school that I think you're starting to get a lot more bigger recruits coming in.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. But
Yeah, I think I like Washington too. I think they're gonna have a great season. Boise State's not like a pushover, but I mean, Boise State will put up good fight against good teams.
yeah,
Uh, but I think this game is at Washington. Correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, at home. Penix is a dog. I think they're a good football team. I got Washington all the way too.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, next one's kind of I think obvious. Ohio State, Indiana.
yeah. It's Ohio State. I mean, I think they win the Big Ten. They make the playoff. I like Ohio State. I trust Kyle
Yeah,
McCord.
they're scary this year, honestly. I think we'll see how their quarterback situation turns out. You got to have a good quarterback, but they got the dang weapons, man. I'll tell you that much.
I trust Kyle McCord. I trust Ryan Day, and more than anything else, I trust Marvin Harrison Jr.
Was Kyle McCord Marvin Harrison Jr.'s quarterback in high school, or was it the other guy?
I don't remember. He was either.
It was either Kyle McCord or the backup. That was,
I'm pretty sure it was Kyle McCord.
yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, yeah,
Marvin Harrison Jr. He is that guy. That's all I have to say.
yes. So
Yeah, Ohio State, I think they beat the living crap out of Indiana. I think Indiana does not have a good football team that I know of. And I think Ohio State would beat just about anybody in this game.
yeah, I mean, there's actually we have not mentioned another team today that I think would beat Ohio State out of all of our picks. Like maybe Florida State could give them a run.
I was about to say LSU, Florida State are, I think, the only two that has a fighting chance.
Yeah, maybe Utah with Cam Rising back.
It's just any team that has a half or any team would have to have a good defense because like Ohio State's I guarantee you Ohio State puts up like 60 on Indiana.
60 is a lot. I don't know about that.
Dude, I'm telling it's at least 50. I bet it's like 56 to like 10.
56 to 10.
Dude, yeah.
No, I better be close. I better be like 42 to 14.
I don't know a thing about Indiana, but I don't think I need to.
Yeah, that's unfortunately probably true. What's the spread on that game? You have any idea?
60. I'm just kidding. Let's see.
30.
Yeah.
30? 30 is a lot.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Bro. You don't think Ohio State we just talked about Ohio State like they're the next freaking kingdom come.
No, I think they are. But like
They're putting 30 on Indiana, I can promise you that. Let's see Indiana last year.
Indiana last year, I don't think they were great, but I don't think they were just like terrible. Fun fact, I don't know if you know this, Michael Penix Jr. actually started at Indiana, transferred to Washington.
I did not know that. Okay. Wow. Just saying. Ohio State, Indiana last year. Give me a score.
I had zero clue.
Tell you what, I was 4 points away from being correct. It was 56 to 14.
All right. We'll see. We'll see.
All right. How many games do you think Indiana won last year?
6.
They won 4 games.
All right. Let's do it.
They beat Illinois by 3. They beat Idaho by like 7, which is
Maybe they're a young team though. Maybe they're bringing a lot back.
Yeah, I don't know about that. They beat WKU by 3, lost to Cincy, lost to Nebraska, lost Michigan, lost Maryland, lost Rutgers, lost Penn State, lost Ohio State, beat Michigan State by 8. That was close, and lost to Purdue.
All right. We'll see how it plays out.
We'll see the numbers, but either way, they're losing by a lot.
Yeah, I mean it won't be close.
And last one, Clemson versus Duke.
Clemson, I mean I like Duke, I guess. It's Clemson. I don't think they win the ACC. I think Florida State wins the ACC, but I do like Clemson in this game ultimately.
Yeah, we'll see about Klubnik. I love him as a guy. He's a great dude,
Yeah,
really nice guy. Um, Not sure about him as a quarterback yet.
I think he'll be a
Obviously,
good. I think
but he was a freshman last year.
yeah, he was a true freshman last year. I mean, give Dabo a full. This will be his second season. Give
Yeah,
Dabo, and last year, like he didn't even have the job until halfway through the season, so like he wasn't getting that much attention from Dabo.
right.
So
Yeah, I got Clemson in this game too. I think they'll be second in the ACC,
yeah, yeah,
third at worst if UNC does well. But
yeah.
yeah, I think they win open day as well. But
Sure. No, well,
all we
cool.
got.
That's what we got. Um, yeah. So those are the
Well,
picks. We'll get a guest picker on here, um, and get those picks out later today. We'll post our
yep,
picks for the best pickers today. So yeah, you got anything else for us?
I'm excited.
Yes, sir.
Had week 0 last week. I didn't watch a ton of football last week, but starting tonight, we've got great football coming. So
Yeah,
I'm very excited for this week. Um,
we'll do TV this week.
Go dogs as always.
Roll Tide.
But another good week of the podcast. So we'll be on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. That's it.
All the
Yeah.
places. Anywhere that you listen to podcasts.
Yep, it's there. And like Micah said, we'll get all our picks out on our Instagram story with our guest pick. And then stay tuned. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Excited to continue this going. Let us know if you have any questions and see y'all later.